Okay, in the today's class we will discuss about the decisions, okay, which is related to the price to be fixed for a commodity and output to be produced. Okay, we call this as price output decision. Okay, it varies with the type of market. Okay, usually we used to have two different types of market. We call it as perfect market and imperfect market. Is it not? Perfect market and imperfect market we used to have. It is based on the competition. Okay, that used to be there in the market. Okay, perfect market means here it will be having its own characteristics. Okay, or features. Salient features of perfect market is that it used to have large number of buyers and sellers. Okay, since buyers and sellers used to be in large number, seller, they cannot, individual seller, he cannot corner the supply. Since buyer used to be large, since sellers used to be large, one cannot think of deceiving other. Okay. Second thing is that the commodity being dealt in this type of market used to be homogeneous. Homogeneous means more or less they appears to be same. That means they not used to be differentiated. They used to be homogeneous in their appearance. Since the goods dealt in this type of market used to be homogeneous, one need not to spend more towards advertisement or promotion. Okay, that means a selling cost will not be the part of, okay, marketing cost in case of perfect market. Okay, third thing is here free entry and exit of firms used to be there. That means if anybody wants to enter into the market, they are free to enter. If anybody wants to exit, they can exit. Who used to enter? On what basis they used to enter? If already existing firms, they are making supernormal profit, or if they are making abnormal profit, then every room is there for others to enter and reap the same profit. Okay, so entry used to be free and exit will be of those firms who are undergoing loss. Okay, so that used to be the third feature. Fourth important feature is that here symmetric information, symmetric market information used to be there. Okay, that means symmetric means between two. Usually the transaction will going to take place between buyer and seller. Both the buyer and the seller will going to have complete information about market, in the sense about the product, about its product quality, about the price, about the arrivals. Everything is known both to buyer as well as seller. Okay, so that we call it as symmetry. How much buyer used to have the same quantum of information even seller used to have. How much seller used to have? Same used to be the case of buyer. That we call it as symmetry. Okay. And here, since large number of buyers and sellers used to be there, since commodity used to be homogeneous, since both of them used to have equal information, one cannot deceive other. Is it not? So, seller, they cannot think of exorbitantly charging price for the goods. So, if such is the case, then government intervention is not that essential. So, we can say that least or no government intervention. Okay, government intervention is not essential. This we call it as laissez-faire. Okay, laissez-faire is a condition wherein the government intervention used to be minimum in economic affairs. Okay. As the commodity used to be homogeneous, as they were knowing, then there is no need of what we call it as advertisement cost. Is it not? No need of advertisement. No advertisement cost used to be there. And one more feature is that here the movement or factors of production used to be free. There will not be any sort of hindrances. So this used to be the very nature or salient features of perfect market. If any one of these features, okay, if it is missing, then it becomes imperfect market. Okay, imperfect market, it can be monopoly, it can be duopoly, it can be oligopoly, it can be monopsony, it can be duopsony, it can be oligopsony, or it can be bilateral monopoly. In case of monopoly, here single seller used to be there. Okay, the very first feature is violated there. Here large number of buyers and sellers used to be there. You can see here single seller used to be there. That means entire sales will be cornered by him. Okay. Duopoly means here two sellers used to be there. Here few sellers used to be there. Here one buyer used to be there. Two buyers used to be there. In case of duopsony, in case of oligopsony, few buyers used to be there. In case of bilateral monopoly, monopoly will going to face monopsony. In the sense, single seller faces single buyer. In all these cases, the commodity dealt may be homogeneous or it may be heterogeneous. If commodity used to be dealt heterogeneous, then it used to be another violation of what we call it as perfect market. Okay. One more thing is that the commodity which used to be heterogeneous and which will be dealt in the market, such market we call it as monopolistic. Monopolistic competition. We call it as monopolistic market, we can call it as. Monopolistic competition or market is one wherein differentiated products are being dealt. That means by virtue, okay, very nature of the commodity used to be differentiated. That means the goods will be differentiated with the help of brand name. Okay, the goods will be differentiated. So such commodities which will be dealt in such a market, that market we call it as monopolistic market. Okay, all these are considered to be as imperfect market. Okay, now we need to understand how the price output decisions will be made in these two markets. Okay, now we need to understand what we call it as price output decisions in perfect and imperfect market. Okay, to understand this, okay, how it will be decided means that concept we call it as equilibrium. Okay, it may be equilibrium of that particular firm, or it may be the equilibrium of industry as a whole. Okay, if it used to be of a particular firm, okay, you can observe it in the short run. Okay, if you want to see the equilibrium of industry, then it is possible in the long run. Okay, for time being, what we will do is we will consider the short run and how the equilibrium condition will be attained. What this equilibrium stands for, and in the equilibrium, how the price and output decisions will be made. Okay, equilibrium means here we will going to decide that particular level of output which will going to satisfy demand and supply equality. Okay, that means at that particular level of output we could say that how much demand used to be there, that can be supplied. Okay, so demand will be equal to supply. That too we consider what we call it as short run and demand and short run supply. Okay, this used to be the first condition. In addition to that, the firm which is involved in the manufacturing of goods should have to produce that level of output wherein the marginal returns realized by it will be equal to marginal cost incurred by it towards production of that particular good. Okay, that means if MR should be equal to MC, one more condition is that MR should be cut by MC from below. Okay, these two are considered to be as first order condition and second order condition for profit of that firm to be maximum. So we could say that firm used to be at equilibrium means two conditions need to be satisfied. One thing is that in the short run, how much demand is there, that much it should have to supply. Second thing is that it should have to produce that quantity of output wherein its MR will be equal to MC and slope of MR should be less than slope of MC, or else we could say that MR curve should be cut by MC from below. Then only we can say that firm used to be at its equilibrium. Equilibrium in the sense firm will be making profit. Okay, so if we consider profit, you know that it used to be the function of total returns and total cost. How we get profit? Profit is nothing but TR minus TC. It is nothing but net returns. So you know that TR used to be the function of output. That means how much quantity he produces and sell at what price. So price into quantity of output sold, okay, will going to give us total returns. And in order to produce this quantity of output, cost will be incurred by the firm. So that we call it as total cost. And we know that total cost will also be the function of output. So, and one more thing we know that cost and output will going to have non-linear relationship. That too, it used to have cubic relationship. So, it will be represented as A plus BQ minus CQ square plus DQQ. So, from this we can understand profit will always be the function of total returns and total cost. Once you deduct total cost from total returns, then we are going to get profit. And we can say if this used to be if TR used to be the function of Q, TC used to be the function of Q, invariably we can say that profit will also be the function of Q, that is output. So, if we are very interested in determining that particular price going to result in firm's equilibrium means we need to satisfy that particular condition, that is profit of that firm should have to be maximum. When the profit of firm will be maximum when it satisfies these two conditions. How that condition will be attained? Let us consider. We know that if we consider any function y is a function of x, this y will going to have maximum means it should have to satisfy two conditions. That is, one thing is that its slope should be 0, and second thing is that its slope of the slope should be negative. Okay, these are the two conditions which need to be satisfied to say that this particular function y will have maximum. Similarly, we can say that this profit function will going to have maximum only when these two conditions are being satisfied. So now the conditions what we have considered for y's maximum, we will consider the same for proving the maximum of profit function. So we need to take the first order derivative of profit. As you know that profit used to be the function of output. Derivative of profit with respect to Q is equal to derivative of TR with respect to Q minus derivative of TC with respect to Q. And we know that slope will be equal to 0. So equal to 0. We know that this is nothing but change in the total returns. This used to be the change in output. Supposing if we produce and sell additional unit of output, how much of additional returns that we get is nothing but marginal returns. Okay. Change in the total returns due to change in output. We call it as marginal returns. In order to produce and sell this particular additional unit of output, additional cost will be incurred. Change in the total cost due to change in total output, we call it as marginal cost. So Mr minus Mc should be equal to 0, in the sense Mr should be equal to Mc. So this used to be the first order condition to say that this profit will be maximum. Similarly, the second order condition is that we need to take derivative of this derivative. Okay, already it is a derivative. Its derivative we need to take. That used to give us the slope of the slope. So delta square pi delta q square, okay, is equal to delta square tr by delta q square minus delta square Tc by delta q square, and we know that it should have to be less than 0. So as we have made a mention that Tr, change in Tr due to change in Q is nothing but Mr. So if we take a derivative of this Mr, that becomes slope of Mr. Okay, so if we solve it, then it will be something like this. See here, delta square dr by delta q square. Since minus sign used to be there, okay, we can take this to that side. It becomes delta square Tc by delta q square. That means this used to be the slope of Mr, this used to be the slope of Mc. So the second order condition is Mr should be cut by Mc from below, or the other way of interpretation of the same is nothing but slope of Mr should be less than slope of Mc. Okay, so these are the conditions. If it is being satisfied, we can say that that particular firm will be at its equilibrium. Okay.